Everybody, JC here, just getting set up. Looks like we got about 6 people here. So welcome everybody who's here on time at 9 o'clock. Uh, Let me know. I'm trying out this new mic, this Bluetooth wireless mic. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay. What's up, Blake? Sounds good. All right, cool. All right, so another live stream here, and gonna kind of be a repeat of last time. We're gonna do some trivia. So we'll go over this real quick. I'll have to go over this a few times for latecomers. But the way this is going to work, the trivia contest, I've got 5 trivia questions here related to pop culture. And throughout the 2 hours, I try and keep these live streams to about 2 hours. And I will be asking throughout the 2 hours, asking these questions. And so the way to work is I'll read the question and then I'll look over here, and the first right answer that I see, which hopefully will be the first one, the first person actually gets it. But I always stipulate that it's the first one I actually see just by some chance, because sometimes these things scroll fast, and if I missed it, I apologize, but I got to go with the one that I actually call. So it will be the name I call out. I will call that person's name out, and then they will be going. Their name will be going into a bowl, which I have forgotten to bring the bowl. So just 1 second. Let me go grab the bowl. We'll use this today. I knew I forgot something. So I will when I'll write the name down on the question, and then we'll toss it in there, and then at the end of the 2 hours after we've gone through all 5 questions, I will randomly draw one of the cards out, and whoever's name is on the card that I draw out is the person that wins the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. Now you can if you get more than one question right, then your name gets entered more than once. That obviously will increase your chances of winning. You could conceivably, if you got every question right, you would be guaranteed of winning. So and if you like are here at the beginning but you can't stay for the full 2 hours, and you get a question right early on, you will have until through tomorrow, when you can come back and watch the video, cut to the end and see if your name was called, and then you can contact me. You'll contact me via email, which I will give you guys at the end, and also, if needed, I'll have in the video description. So that's how it's going to work. So good luck to everybody. I've got some pretty good questions here. I hope that will stump some of you guys. Some easy ones too, I think, but we'll have to like I said, hopefully it'll be a good time for you guys. Now, I also have 2 packages here that I'm going to be unboxing at some point tonight. So we'll take a look. I'm pretty sure I know what's in them, but we'll take a look, and then we'll just talk toys and take questions and what have you. So let's see. Got 31 people in here now. Welcome everybody. Blake, I don't know if you caught my video the other day, but I just once again want to give you a big thank you for that donation you made last live stream. That was really awesome of you, man. So let's see. Articulated Doom digs my shirt. Thanks, man. I picked it. I went T-shirt shopping off Amazon a couple weeks ago, and I saw this one, and I really liked it, so I grabbed it. Now, I got a few topics I wanted to hit on myself. I mean, I'll let you guys kind of steer the topics that we primarily talk about, but I wanted to talk about some Marvel Legend rumors. If you've been following Marvelous news, we made a rumor report yesterday, and so I want to talk a little bit about that. And probably also just want to mention that starting tomorrow, both Mcfarland Toys and Mezco Toys are having their own little online conventions. Each one, we've got McFarland Con and we've got Mezco Con. So they're set to begin tomorrow. With Mezco, I think tomorrow all they're doing is they're putting up for sale their exclusives. I think it's another Gomez, 112 Collective Gomez. It's a box with some other stuff in it, but I think the primary thing is another Gomez figure. And Mezco's reveals I don't think will come until Friday, and I think theirs is going until Saturday. McFarland didn't give an exact how many days they're doing it. I'm gonna assume probably Thursday and maybe Friday, but we should be getting some McFarland reveals tomorrow, and like I said, probably on Friday. So we'll have to see. McFarland. I mean, I'm really they've as far as like DC Multiverse. I mean, what they've already revealed like two waves at least that have yet to come out with the fallen wave or the drowned wave I mean, and then the one what was it, oh, and then the one with like the Hellbat. I'm trying to are those the same wave or I forget, but there's two waves out there that they've revealed already that have yet to be released, and so we'll have to see how far ahead they're going to actually go with their reveals and stuff. JC Con, yeah, but no JCCon, but definitely, if you want one place to go to get all these reveals from all these various companies, Toy News International, and of course here on YouTube when I do news videos, I'm sure I'll be doing at least one more news video this week. I'll probably wait until Friday, maybe even Saturday, but I don't know what these companies are gonna, it's not like these guys call me up and say, hey, we're going to be revealing all this stuff. So I don't know how good of the reveals are going to be or not be. So a little bit will depend on what we actually end up seeing. I'm hoping with like Mezco we see well with both of these companies I hope we see something beyond Batman. I'm sure there's going to be I think it's probably a safe bet that both companies will have some type of Batman reveal. But hopefully, like with Mezco, we maybe will see those Fantastic Four 112 collective figures that they teased during their San Diego Comic Con at home thing. So I'm hoping that's something that gets revealed by them. See, Omega Maximus. I want a Marvel Legends Deluxe re-release Classic Apocalypse from X-Men. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we got the Age of Apocalypse one done, so I wouldn't necessarily think they would do another Apocalypse right away, but definitely down the road, I could see them doing that. When is McFarlane Flashpoint Batman coming? That's a good question. They showed that one back in July, and we haven't heard anything more on that one. So we might get some more details on that one here in the near future. But they've gone kind of silent on that one, and I know that was like one that a lot of people were looking forward to. Tom wants a man bat. Well, anything Batman, I would say, is on the table, but I guess we'll have to see. Jeff says they need to ask me what they should show. Yeah, I wish. Oh, Carlos, yeah. So Carlos points out that on Friday also Hasbro's having a Fan First Friday live stream, and I mentioned this in my news video yesterday, but it's going to be Transformer related this week. So we'll be getting some Transformer reveals from Hasbro on Friday as well. But I'm really not sure what they're going to be showing there. Um, I don't follow. I don't. T-Formers is part of a network of sites, but I don't do the daily news on T-Formers, so I don't follow the Transformer news quite as closely as I do other brands. So I haven't been. I know a lot of stuff. A lot of times it's like stuff that they're announcing officially, but we've already seen. A ventriloquist and Scarface would be cool. Uh, Christina, sorry if I mispronounced that. I agree. I would love to see that. Snapface as I'm his main source for news. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. Have you heard about a new Walmart G1 retro toy line for 2021? Gregory asks. Uh, I guess. I mean, Hasbro's been doing a lot of retro stuff, so I haven't. I'm not. like you're talking about redoing stuff like in original packaging. I mean, I know they've done a few things. Like I think we just got what Blaster, wasn't that one just redone? Astro Train recently at Walmart. So they've kind of been doing that, but I haven't heard anything specific. Particularly Doom wants a demon figure from McFarlane. Michael Keaton Batman from McFarlane Toys. Yeah, I mean, we just got the SH Figure Arts one just got released, and we've got one coming from Mezco, and of course NECA did one. I feel like Tide is deliberately steering away from figures that other companies have been doing recently. So I won't say it's impossible, especially I think if we get close to the if if or when the Flash movie actually ever gets released, being that Michael Keaton looks like is going to actually be in that movie, I feel like we could see something closer to that. Gregory here's maybe Skyward. See, I mean, again, if we're talking about just re-releasing the original G1 toys, I mean, Hasbro's done that a few times. I don't know. Um, it's just, I mean, I guess because like I don't, I like Transformers, I like G1 Transformers, but like I primarily just stick with the masterpieces. So I don't know. Redoing the original G1 toys, I guess it would depend on cost and stuff, but I mean, I'm sure there's a market for it. But I mean, like I said, Hasbro. I remember what was it? It's been quite a while now, I guess, maybe even going on 10 years. But I know a while back at Toys R Us, they did like a whole line of that where they re-released a lot of the original G1 toys with the original packaging and everything. All right, so let's go on and talk some Marvel Legends. So if you missed the news on Marvelous News, I made a report yesterday about what based on intel that I'd gotten about what likely the full wave of upcoming House of X Marvel Legend line. Um, so I got this just to show. I don't know how well you can see it, but basically at PulseCon, we got they revealed three figures in the wave, so we know those are coming: the Professor X, the Moira MacTaggart, and or Magneto in white outfit. So those three are definitely coming. But based on intel reports I got, we're also going to be getting Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, and then the last one, Omega Sentinel, is one the intel I got actually said just Omega, and so there was an assumption made that it was Sentinel, which seems most likely. But I haven't. I started to read the House of M or House of X storyline, but I only got like two issues in, so I don't know what other option there could be for Omega. But one thing I did want to point out here, um, somebody pointed this out on the Marvelous News message boards. That Jesse Falcon from Toy Biz, who works for Marvel now and basically heads up, oversees all the various Marvel lines and everything. He posted here, um, keep guessing. So I don't know if he. The I will say that the source that I got the information from has been told everything that they've told me in the past has come to fruition. So I have a lot of faith in the source, which is why I ran the story. Now, obviously, until Hasbro confirms these, they are rumor. We're always very clear about that. Things can change. We can certainly, it's possible to get wrong intel. But again, the source that I got the information from, I feel very confident in. Now, obviously, Jesse Falcon is going to know what the figures in this wave. So, you know, if we're to take him at his word, then there was something obviously in this wave that we listed that's incorrect, assuming he's not just trying to mislead us or what have you. So, I just want to point that out that again, it is rumor, and we'll have to wait and see. It's unusual for Jesse to chime in one way or the other, but like I said, we'll have to wait and see. But again, as far as the source that gave me the information, I feel very confident about it. Um, So unless there was something deliberately put out there incorrectly or what have you, like I said, the Omega is the only one not 100% sure on. But I don't know what other character that's House of X related would have Omega Kid maybe, but um, yeah, Articulated Doom points Kid Omega. Sorry. So I guess that's a possibility for the wave as opposed to Omega Sentinel. But Omega Sentinel, really, I mean, especially with the Nimrod figure that we just got, seems like would make more sense. But and I have no idea what the Build-A-Figure for the wave is. That information is not. They never released the information of the Build-A-Figure, so I don't know what the Build-A-Figure for the wave is, and I really can't even fathom a guess. You know, if we hadn't just gotten the Nimrod figure, I would almost think that would be the Build-A-Figure for the wave. But and one other thing that I've been made aware of, which again we'll take as rumor, but looks like we're going to be getting a Disney Plus wave, and I'm still putting together details. But one figure that I've been indicated to me that we're going to be getting that I'm pretty excited for, which I'll say I hope is true, is U.S. Agent. You know, he's definitely going to be in the new Falcon and Winter Soldier series, so. I would definitely be interested in getting a U.S. Agent figure. I definitely also want a updated comic book version of U.S. Agent. He's one of my favorite characters. So he's got the new limited series coming out next month. So I don't read a lot of comics anymore, but I definitely plan on picking that one up. Hassan 17 says they should do Carmen Hodge. Yeah, that would make sense. Let's see, Bean 2099. Three-headed sentinel as a Build-A-Figure is definitely a possibility. Well, I mean, the problem with that would be is I don't see them doing a sentinel the size of the HasLab one. So if they released a shorter, smaller sentinel, I think people would be pretty disappointed. So I don't think it's a sentinel. I mean, I could be wrong, but like I said, I don't think they're gonna do another sentinel with the HasLab sentinel not having even been released yet. All right, we're about 15 minutes in, so let's go on and do our first trivia contest question. So again, just to go over it real quick, I'm going to read the question. First correct answer that I see, I will call their name out, and that person's name will then go into the bucket here. And then at the end of the video, around 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, I will draw one of the names out, and that person will win the $100 store credit. So all right, so this one is something that was actually just revealed today. So if you've been on like Marvelous News, you'll know this answer, or you know if you've maybe seen it somewhere else as well. But my point is that this is something that was just kind of announced. So, but the question is, what animal will be joining Spider-Man to fight crime in the new Spider-Man Miles Morales video game? Spider Cat, Mr. Joshua 327 is the first person with the correct answer. Yes, Spider Cat is correct. And I didn't know there was a Spider Cat, but apparently there has been in the comics before, and I guess he's dead now, but he's making an appearance in the video game, and I would actually love, you know, I have a thing for cats, so I would love to actually see, you know, a Miles Morales figure with a backpack and then an articulated cat that can come out. If you've seen the trailer in the game, the cat hangs out in the backpack, rides around with Miles on his back in the backpack, and then he jumps out and he attacks people when they're fighting. So I would love to see something like that done. So, just real quick here, just trying to get sure I write down the correct name here. So, Mr. Joshua, your name is the first name to go into the bucket. And of course, if you stick around and you get another one correct, you'll get your chances will increase. So, like I said, you can answer more than one question correctly and increase your chances of winning. Articulate Dude says Spider Cat looks like his cat, Artemis, with a Spider-Man mask. I should have taken a picture of it, but I have up in my guest bedroom, and maybe I'll take a picture of it and throw it up on social media. And my wife got it for me, but it's a picture of a cat dressed up as Captain America. I mean, all you see is his head, so he's just got the mask on, and then you can see the shield, and it's really cool. And the cat looks just like one of my cats. We call him Big G, and it's a really funny picture. Dargo says, "Rest in peace, Black Panther." Yeah, Catman America, Double Trouble. All right, so have you guys? I love hearing your guys' questions. Is there anything? Tom said, let's see, Tom Jay, did you get any of the first wave of the McFarlane DC multiverse, and what were your thoughts? The very first wave, I've got the Superman and the Batman figure, and I thought they were pretty solid figures overall. I mean, I didn't think they did anything to revolutionize, DC figures. They were very similar to the DC Essential ones, but I thought they were pretty good. I haven't really gotten many others. I do have. I've got both the Flash and the Flash 2 pack with the Red Death figure on pre-order. So those should be arriving within the next week or so, I believe. I know they've. I know like the Flash figure has started hitting regular stores as well, but I haven't seen it on shelves. Um, I'm a pretty big Flash. I like to run, so I'm a pretty big Flash fan. So I got the Flash figure, and I just like I I have no I, the Batman figures. Just for me personally, they look good, but since I haven't read a lot of the stories that some of these figures are based on, they just don't have as much appeal to me. So, but like the Flash, Batman, Superman, regular Superman, I probably might end up getting others like Nightwing and Batgirl. Though the Batgirl seemed like was kind of out of scale, so that's why I haven't gotten that one yet. Dargo asks, "What if Cap and Wolverine meet?" Well, they have met. If you're talking about in the comics. Carlos asks if I pre-ordered the Newcastle Grayskull. I did not. Uh, it's going to be available everywhere, so I don't think it's going to be hard to get when it comes out next year. So I didn't bother pre-ordering it from Walmart. I'll probably wait and get it from someplace. Either if I see it in, I'm not 100%. I'll get it. I might, but definitely I'll probably wait until it gets closer to release, and then if I'm gonna pre-order it, I'd pre-order it from someplace like a sponsor Big Bad Toy Store or that. I'm not. I don't. It's not a Walmart exclusive. It's gonna be available everywhere, so I just really felt no need to pre-order it there. I had the. I never had the original Castle Grayskull playset. I had the one that they released for the 2000 X line. I still have it. It's packed away somewhere, but I have the one that they did for the 2000 X line, which is kind of a retooled version. But I didn't get the Matty Collector Classics one just because I didn't have the space or what have you. But so I don't know if I'll get this one. I've been collecting the Origins line so far. I have the first wave, and I have some of the second wave on pre-order. I managed to pre-order them off of Amazon before they sold out. But the Castle Grayskull, I don't know if it depends on whether I can find some place to display it. Um, really is what it comes down to. It's not a bad price, $75. It's not too bad a price. Looks like we're talking about the mashup Marvel DC guys, Dark Claw, Super Soldier. Yeah, I have those comics somewhere still. I don't think anyone ever did action figures for those. I've seen a lot of customs over the years, but I don't think anyone officially, I won't swear to it, but I don't think anyone officially made figures based on those mashups. Probably too much red tape between DC and Marvel to have something like that done. Christino asks what Legion of Doom member or JLA member would you like to see McFarlane? Would I like to see McFarlane make? I would love to see Lex Luthor, a good Lex Luthor done, and obviously JLA. I don't know. Guy Gardner would be a cool one. Booster Gold. I mean, we got that Grodd that's coming based on, or at least according to, you know, distributor reports, we've got the Grodd coming with based on the video game. So I think I'm looking forward to that one. That one is one I would probably pick up. I would love to see. I know it's more Batman, but I would love to see figures based on Nightfall, like Azrael in the Nightfall bat armor. That's my favorite armor for that character. So I would love to see that figure and a good Bane figure. I would Death of Superman. I wouldn't mind seeing figures based on the Death of Superman with a Doomsday and then like that version of Superboy and Steel and Eradicator and Cyborg Superman. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Joseph asks, "Do you think we will get much smaller HasLab like older generation Transformers or other things Hasbro sees as too much of a risk for wide release?" I don't see them redoing old generation Transformers through HasLab. Like, if you mean like just re-releasing the original toys, uh, but I definitely think we might see more HasLab stuff. I mean, with Transformers. I mean, to be honest, they've put out the really big, other than Unicron, which went through HasLab, but for the other like big giant Transformers, they've been putting them all out in the regular line. I mean, Fortress Maximus, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that wasn't that originally the biggest Transformer ever released? So they haven't really, as far as Transformers go, they haven't shied away from doing the big guys. And I saw for the first time this week, I was at Target and I saw the Skylinks, and I was really tempted to get it, but I held off. Skylinks, it wasn't like I actually never had the original Skylinks, and I don't know. He's kind of a cool character, but it was like $80, and I don't even know where I put him, so I didn't get him. But I saw him on the shelves for the first time. One Man Toy pre-ordered the Masters of the Universe Origins Wave 2 figures off Walmart. I've seen some people have those in hand already. I don't know if they've been hitting shelves or not. I went to Walmart this week, and well, like one time before I went to Walmart and they had like 20 Skeletor figures. This time they had 20 He-Man figures, and I don't know if somebody bought all those Skeletor figures, but those were gone, and now there was like 20 He-Man figures on the peg. So but I haven't seen any. I mean, I have them. I have the other figures. Chip, a fellow named Chip hooked me up with the other characters in Wave One, so I have them, but I have not seen them on shelves around here. Double Trouble asked if I got a HasLab Sentinel. I did. I got one. I couldn't really afford more than one, and my plan is to make the HasLab Sentinel my master mold, and then I've got the Toy Biz Sentinel and the Marvel Universe Sentinel, which will be my regular Sentinel army. 46 Zone asks or says there's a third wave of GI Joe retro figures featuring Duke and Cobra Commander coming up, and have I seen any leaked pics? No, I have not seen any leaked pics. I believe I saw the listing at one point, though I believe they were still using code words for it, for the third wave. I don't remember. I want to say I remember Cobra Commander. I don't remember Duke, but I've not seen any images for the third wave. I've not got. Well, first of all, I've not seen. Once again, I mean, my Walmart sucks, so the fact that I've not seen any of the stuff at Walmart, it's not a big surprise. But I've not seen any of the retro stuff for GI Joe at Walmart either. I did manage to snag a pre-order for the Fang helicopter because I wanted the new pilot off of Walmart, and I haven't really been that interested in the other figures because I'm happy with the ones I already have from the 25th anniversary line. So I just haven't seen a need to really get the those new figures, those new retro ones. If they start doing new characters, then or ones that maybe were like released through the GI Joe Club, those are ones I'd be interested in. But I just haven't seen enough improvements. I have the Snake Eyes that they released, the last Snake Eyes they released at regular retail, which I think is pretty much the same Snake Eyes that's in the retro line. And I've got the most recent, same thing with the Storm Shadow. I had that most recent one. Like Scarlet, I like the head sculpt on the 25th anniversary Scarlet figure better than the one that's on this new one. So I just you know, I love GI Joe, but I don't feel a need to buy the same things over and over again. Again, the Fang, I wouldn't have gotten the Fang because I have a Fang they released a couple years ago, but I wanted that pilot, so I did uh, basically get the Fang. But like the His tank, I've got like four various His tanks. I've got a blue one, I've got a red one, I've got a black one. I've got the one that they did, the more updated version that they did. Um, I have. That's my favorite His tank. I forget which line that was released under, but they actually, instead of just reissuing the same original '80s mold, they actually updated the His tank mold, and it was really awesome. So I have that one. So I didn't feel a need. I haven't seen it, but I didn't feel a need to get the new His tank that they put out. Same thing with the All Striker. I got the one that they released a few years ago. So I know I think they've made some minor changes to these, but it's just not enough for me to really want to get them again. Any Joes I want to see in the classified line? Xavier asks. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of figures I want to see. I want to see Major Blood. I want to see. Well, I mean, there really isn't a character I don't want to see, but I want to see Major Blood, which has been rumored showed up in the Target computer system. So I'm really interested in seeing that. That's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about. So I haven't played it yet, but I wonder if any of you guys have checked out the new GI Joe video game that just came out this week, um, the Black Ops game. I looked at some gameplay trailers online, and I talked to some of you guys on Facebook about it, but it did not seem like it was that great of a game. So I haven't gotten it, but I'd be curious if you've played it, what you thought of it. Mr. Joshua wants a classified low light and free fall. I could go for a low light. I'd rather probably see more like some of the original Joes done before some of those later guys. Like I'd love to see Doc, and I'd love to see Grunt was my very first GI Joe figure. So even though he's not the most exciting character, I wouldn't mind seeing a Grunt. And Flash, I think, would be kind of a cool figure, an updated Flash, especially with the weapons, since they don't like to do regular weapons in the line. Rayano, if I sorry if I mispronounced your name, buddy, but what's up? Wild Bill Joseph. Yeah, I could go for a Wild Bill. Now, of course, if they did Wild Bill, then I'd want them to do a Dragonfly, and I don't see them doing that in the classified line. But Lady J, even though she's a little bit later in the line, I would definitely. And she, of course, has been rumored she showed up in the Target computer, so I think Lady J will be released at some point soon. Adam says, "What's up, everybody? Sorry you're late. No problem. You did miss the first question in the trivia contest, but there's four more to go." So, CB Hunts says that he wants to see Shipwreck. Yeah, I could go, a classic Shipwreck. I'd want to see a classic Shipwreck with his parrot, but yeah, I could go for Shipwreck. So, funny story I'll share with you guys about GI Joe. So when I was a kid, um, I was stupid, and I got into this kick where I started shoplifting GI Joe figures. I didn't. I. It was dumb. I was a kid. I was a dumb kid. But and I got busted one time. I had like a pocket full of. I was in a mall and I was in a Target store, and I I had actually. What's funny is I got busted in the Target store, but most of the figures that were in my pocket were figures that I had lifted from a Thornberry. It was called Thornberry's Toy Store. It was a local toy store in Louisville, Kentucky, and which is where I grew up, and and that's where most of the figures came. But I got busted in Target, and they assumed it was their figures that I had lifted. I hadn't really gotten. I was there to lift a few figures, and and I mean the worst thing I did. Charges were never pressed. The worst thing was just the disappointment in my mom. When she found out and they called her, like they took me in the back and sat me down. I had to wait for my mom to come, and that was really the worst thing. And I never did it again. But I had a temporary crime spree with GI Joe back in the day when I just got on this kick where I started shoplifting stuff. I don't know. That story just came to my mind, but but yeah, I think I had like 10 GI Joe figures in my pockets when I got busted, and it wasn't like it wasn't like my parents didn't get me stuff. So it was really just it was being a dumb kid, and it was like, ooh, look, I'm cool. I've got these GI Joe figures. So Andrew says McFarlane Witcher line can be huge if they start doing generic monsters from the game. Well, McFarlane loves to do monsters and stuff, so you would think that would be something that he might do, but so far we just got the three figures that they've announced, the regular figures plus the Walmart exclusive. I wouldn't mind seeing some figures based on the Netflix series, but Martinez says deep pockets, yeah. YFZ3 asks how old I am. Oh, I'm. Well, let me ask you, how old do you think I am? Double D asks, have I ever owned or held a Mythic Legion figure from the Four Horsemen? I don't own any, but I have. I mean, I've been to the conventions. I've taken many pictures of their stuff at their booths and stuff. So I don't own any, but I definitely have seen them. Very nice figures. They do some awesome work with those. Let's see, 45, 36, 45, 48. Jason Todd just turned 48 last month, so wasn't a trivia question, but you got that one right. 2 years away from the Big 50, and man, I hate even thinking about that. But Letty Babe says, "Hi everyone, what's up, man?" I don't feel like I'm 48. That's for sure. I always have to remind myself. Well, sometimes I feel like I'm 48. Like when I go out running, sometimes my knees feel like they're 48. But in general, I don't. It's hard to think of myself as being that old. Though some of you seem to. Somebody in one of the comments in a recent video said that that I came off as like the old geezer guy. So Dargo says, "You old." Yeah. Blake says he sees my Silver Centurion back there. I've ordered the Marvel Select version. Effects are amazing, but the Tony Stark head is a bit odd. Yeah, I mean, Diamond Select did a pretty good job with theirs. Shout out to Chip for hooking me up with this Marvel Legend one, because I've yet to see it at my Walgreens, and Walgreens, as far as I know, has yet to put this figure up on their website. And I think it's like one of the few that they've yet to sell online. I don't remember them doing uh, the girls, but somebody had mentioned that that was up on their website at some point. But I've been looking for him to go up on the Walgreens website. I did see just may have even been this morning where they had Moon Knight and the Iron Man 2020 up for sale again on their website, but still nothing on the Silver Centurion. But actually, so I have these here because after I got the Silver Centurion, it just dawned on me that we actually have completed the original West Coast Avengers. Now, unfortunately, I am missing Tigra. I never got the Tigra figure that they did in the Walmart wave, the Nemesis wave. So I've been debating, and unfortunately, she goes for a pretty hefty price on eBay. So I've been debating whether I want to throw down the money and get Tigra so I can complete my original West Coast Avenger team here, or wait and hope that Hasbro does a new version at some point. But yeah, so like if you're not familiar with West Coast Avengers, um, it started out as a 4 issue limited series, which actually had the it was actually classic Iron Man that started out on the team, which was Jim Rhodes under the helmet at the time. But then when the first issue of the regular series started, Silver Centurion Iron Man had entered the picture. Tony Stark had returned to Iron Man, and so it was essentially Hawkeye, Iron Man, Wonder Man, Mockingbird. Now we don't have classic Mockingbird; we just have the modern version. So technically, I guess we could still use a classic Mockingbird for the team, but I'm okay with this more modern one. And then, like I said, Tigra was the final member originally. Now others came in and went. Hank Pym was there pretty early on. Not it was basically just Hank Pym, but he was part of the team for a good long while. And like at one point, Thing came in for an issue, and they tried to get him to join the team. And then Vision and Scarlet Witch were there for a short while. Then they left, and they came back later and actually joined the team. But the original team members was Hawkeye, Iron Man, Silver Centurion, Iron Man, Wonder Man, and Mockingbird and Tiger. So for those of you that like to fill out teams, we actually with the Silver Centurion, I hadn't really thought about it until I actually got it in hand. And then I was like, wow, yeah, we got. And then I was like kicking myself for not having the Tiger figure. So, like I said, I'm debating whether I should go and get her off eBay, but she's going for like somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 70 bucks. And if I do, I guarantee you, and this happened with the Jean Grey figure, if I go and I buy it off of eBay, right after that, you can almost guarantee Hasbro will announce that they're doing a new updated version of her. Because I kid you not, the Jean Grey, the Jim Lee Jean Grey figure, I wanted to round out. I'd missed out on that one originally, so I bit the bullet and got it off of eBay, and then like 2 or 3 weeks later, they announced that one in the three back. So I was like, ah. And I even made a joke about it. I was like, now that I bought it, they're gonna release an updated version, and lo and behold, they did. So if you want an updated Tigra, then just convince me to buy one off eBay, and that'll almost guarantee that Hasbro will give us an updated Tigra figure. And when I was thinking about this, so with the West Coast Avengers, I like rounding out teams. So I was thinking about teams that Hasbro still needs to complete. So Thunderbolts comes to mind. We need a new Moonstone. So there's the Moonstone figure out there, which that also goes for a hefty price, and that is one that I don't have. I actually gave mine that entire San Diego Comic Con box set. I ended up giving it to Shartimus Prime so he could review it, and so I don't have Moonstone. But that Moonstone that came in that box set really isn't. That's not how she looked when the Thunderbolts first debuted. So I don't want to go and get that Moonstone. I want Hasbro to release a Thunderbolts version, original Thunderbolts version of Moonstone. And then we need Atlas. We need an Atlas figure, and we need Techno or the Fixer. We need that figure to round out that team. And New Warriors, that's another one that we're getting kind of close with the Firestar coming. We've got so we need Speedball, and we need Marvel Boy, and Namorta, I believe, uh, to round out that team. And of course, with like X Force, the original X Force, we need Feral. And with the 90s X Factor team, we need Wolfsbane. Well, Hindsight was not an original New Warriors member. Well, Lefty Babe says we got Wolfsbane. We got a New Mutants version of Wolfsbane, but not an X Factor version, and they look very different. So, I mean, if you wanted to fill in, you could use it, but I really want an actual X Factor Wolfsbane. Do they have? Dargo's asking if they have Thanos in the new figures. I'm not sure the question there. They're doing a new Thanos, if that's what you mean. Helion's X-Men villains team. If you're talking about the original Helions, I could go for that, like the New Mutants arch nemesis team. Yeah. Well, Siren and Richter, kinda, and Domino. Well, we got. Well, yeah, I guess '90s Domino, but they weren't technically part of the original team, so they came on very soon. But like I'm talking about like issue one officially on the team. Andrew is saying he's seen hints that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man's on their list. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if the rumors of him being in the new Spider-Man movie end up being true. Bean 2099 wants GW Bridge, Kane, and Grizzly would be nice too. Those would go good with like the Maverick figure and stuff. Goblin Queen from Inferno, yeah, that would be another good one. That Squadron Supreme, yeah, we've gotten a few of those. Some of the Invaders. Carson asked if I would love to see the original X Factor team completed, and yes, I very much would love to see the original X Factor team completed with their very their colored X outfits, definitely. And we got the Cyclops, which is actually not the original outfit that he wore in X Factor, but switched to later, shortly before going to the Jim Lee look. But yes, I would love to have like a human beast with the brown outfit with the yellow X, and then Iceman with his like inhibitor belt, and Angel before he became Archangel, and Jean Grey and her green outfit, but with the pantsed outfit, not the mini skirt outfit. Excalibur, that's enough. We've got Captain Britain, the original Captain Britain. We have Shadowcat, but not in the outfit that she wore on Excalibur, and we have Nightcrawler, so we've got we've got that, but we need Megan, and we need uh, Rachel Summers. Agent Val Cooper for, well, yeah, I mean she was kind of the liaison. You know, you could throw in Doc Samson too. Tallman 80 ass. How many Sentinel? I got one Sentinel. Need a new good original. Well, Blake, if you're talking about the X Men that time traveled from the past to the present and then stayed in the present, which is technically what that Toys R Us box set was based on, but using their original outfits, I would agree. I would love to see those modern outfits that they switched to. I would love to see a set of those. I'm not even sure where those guys. I mean, what happened? I lost track of those guys. I'm not sure what happened to those versions of the X Men. Letty Babe, here's one, guys. Vertigo, remember her? Yeah, I would love to see the original Marauders. We just posted for our cool custom segment on Marvelous News. We posted some really cool customs for the original Marauders, so I would love to see those. That was actually that storyline, the Mutant Massacre, was really when I first started. Was the story going on in the comics when I really first started reading X Men comics? Bean 2099 wants a new Strife. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the Strife that we got. Andrew asks if I have any plans to do any more interviews. I don't have anything lined up right now. I mean, anything's a possibility, but it's not something I've actively been pursuing at the moment. Starjammers, yeah, that would be a cool team. All right, we're probably falling a little bit behind here. I guess it's time for another question here. So let me just go over the rules again for the trivia contest. So there's a total of 5 questions. I've already asked one question. I'm going to read the question out here, and then the first correct answer I see come across my screen, I'll say out their name, and that person will win the round. Their name will go on the card. I will put the card in the bucket here, and then at the end of the stream, which will be around 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, I will draw one name. So there's a total of 5 chances to be entered. This is chance number 2. You can get more than one question right, so you can increase your chances. And if you're not here at the end of the night, still, if you get the right answer early on and you're not here at the end, you can come back tomorrow. If you see your name was called out, then you'll be able to contact me to claim the prize. But on to question number 2. This is a Masters of the Universe question. So if you're a He-Man fan out there, this is one for you. What Masters of the Universe character was originally named Gorpo? It's kind of easy. Quinn got it right. Quinn Comics. The correct answer is Orko. So Orko's original name was going to be Gorpo, but apparently because the G on it would have been much difficult for the animation for them to do the G. Apparently, a circle is much easier. Something about flipping or such is easier. So, because of cost, it would have cost more to have a G on his outfit. He's got to. I guess it was a must that they had his name on there. So, or his the first letter of his name on his chest. So that's why they changed it to Orko. But originally he was going to be called Gorpo. So Quinn, your name is now going into the bucket. So we've got 3 more questions to go, and I'll probably, since we're halfway through the stream, I'll probably be asking the second or the next question fairly soon here. All right, let's do some unboxing. So I've got two packages this week. This one, as you can see, is from Hasbro Pulse. I believe this is a Star Wars figure. It is. So I missed out on the armor, which I'm hoping they restock at some point because I want the exclusive version with the furry coat thing on the shoulder as opposed to the regular release one, which is plastic. But I happened to be online when this one went up. So Cad Bane and this one, this exclusive version has the robot. So that's why I went on and got this one. So pretty cool. Give you a close up look there. Of course, you get the nice packaging, but I'm gonna open this up and take them out. So packaging really doesn't mean anything to me. But like I said, I'm still hoping that I want to get that Hasbro exclusive, Pulse exclusive version of the armor. I'm hoping they put that back in stock at some point. I mean, if I have to, if they don't, I'm not going to pay secondary market prices for it. So if they don't, I'll go with the regular release one. But like I said, I really like the kind of fur, the actual fur that they used on the exclusive version as opposed to the plastic that they used on the regular version. Catlin definitely wants to pick up Cad Bane. Yeah, it didn't last long. I happened to be online when it went up. I was happy that they finally restocked the Hellfire Club Goon, which I thought was kind of ridiculous that for an exclusive army builder they didn't have it more than lasting less than a day when they originally put it up during PulseCon, but they have put it back up and I believe it's still available. So they definitely seem to have thorough. I mean, it may be being done as a pre. I didn't look at the ship date, so they may be doing it as a pre-order thing now. But at least now, if you want one or army build it, then you'll have that option of doing so. I wonder how hard Rogue will be to get. Fun time ass. I don't know. So I wanted to actually have been meaning to update. So I mentioned in one of the news videos that one of the Target employees had told me that like they were expecting them to be put out on shelves on the 15th of this month, which is obviously tomorrow. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Now, Shartimus, in his interview, I believe the Hasbro folks said that the figure wasn't going to be released until December. I don't believe that. I think it'll be out before December. I don't think it'll be out tomorrow, but I would be very surprised if the Rogan Retro Gambit didn't come out until December. But probably we're looking more likely. I'm guessing November time frame for those. So I just wanted to update you in case you were thinking they might be coming out tomorrow. That's what the Target employee told me. I'd gone on the first of the month. I went to Target looking for the Storm 2-pack, which I didn't get that day because they didn't have any. I have since been able to get it off the Target website. That'll actually be here tomorrow. But they had told me that they were going to be getting more Storm 2-packs along with the Rogue and the Gambit that they were going to be putting on an end cap around the 15th of this month. So, but that's the thing, Double Trouble. I don't have any DCPI numbers. I haven't seen any posted for the Rogue and Gambit figures, which is why I definitely don't think they're going to be out like this week or anything. But Double Trouble says review the Storm Thunderbird set. I might. Oh, and speaking of Target stuff, so for you Turtle fans, NECA Turtle fans, so tomorrow is supposed to be the official sale date of uh, the Roadkill Rodney and the Triceraton 2-pack. Now they've actually already started showing up at physical Target stores. I've seen people already starting to find them, but tomorrow is technically the official date that NECA said it was going to go on sale. Now I don't know if it's going to be available online tomorrow, but what I wanted to share with you guys is I do have the DCPI number for that set. Last time I checked today, it was not yet listed on the, as far as I could tell, it was not listed on the Target website. You know, with the DCPI number, it will do you no good for finding them in the stores, but it'll help you to find, you know, if they put it up on the website before it actually goes live. Usually you can plug it into like BrickSeek, and if it's on the website, BrickSeek will find it. You know, if you just do a regular search on the site, it won't come up until it goes live and is available for purchase. But as most of us know with Target, by that point it's too late. So like a lot of people were able to get the Trag set because it had been put up early, and so they were able to select the notification option, and then were notified when it went up. And because it lasted like 20 minutes, a number of people were actually able to buy it because they had found it online early and then signed up for the notification thing. So I don't know if they'll put it up early, the Roadkill Rodney 2 pack early or not, but you know, you can use the DCPI number and, you know, just keep checking. Because, like I said, once everybody knows that it's available and it's online, it's available for purchase. At that point, it's only going to last for a very short time, and so unless you just happen to be sitting online when that happens, and sometimes even if you're sitting online, you know, if the scalper bots get to them too fast, it's too little, too late. So I'm trying to get to it here, and I'm going to read it out to you. So if you want to write it down. Okay, so the DCPI number for the Roadkill Rodney and Triceraton 2 pack, as I have it, is 323071875. So, like I said, you can keep checking. You know, if you go to BrickSeek, you can plug that in. Once it's up on the website, even if it hasn't gone live, it'll likely show up there, and then you can just save the link, and then and possibly even like request a notification for when it goes in stock, and then you might have a better shot at getting it. And then if you want to try and find it in the physical stores, then I would just start checking now because, like I said, people have already started finding it, and it's supposed to be the official release date is supposed to be tomorrow, the 15th. Let's see. Warhawk asks, have I heard anyone getting Ahsoka clones getting shipped from Walmart? I have not. I've heard people getting delays on those figures as Walmart exclusive figures, and I've not heard anything. I got the Mandalorian. I was able to secure one, but I have a feeling that it's either been delayed or maybe even canceled. Like I tried to find it. I tried to find the order, but I guess because I hadn't actually logged into when I bought it, it doesn't show up. So I'm gonna have to contact Walmart and see what's going on with it. But as far as people getting those figures, and this was like maybe a week or so ago, but I heard everybody was getting delay notices from Walmart on them. Let's see. Jay Darkside says he knows the Targets put things up at 3 in the morning. I've certainly seen that, not all the time. Like that Trag set went up in the middle of the afternoon uh, the other week, but yeah, I have seen them put stuff up in the middle of the night as well. Articulated Doom says he's got to get going. Good luck, folks. Thanks for dropping by, man. I'll do this again, so you know, hopefully you'll get another shot at the contest. CM Brock says he had to get April on eBay. Yeah, I refuse to buy any of these turtle figures off of, from the secondary market. I did the first wave that, but I just if I can't find them, I'm just not going to get them. And if I start missing enough figures that I want, I'm just going to quit collecting the line. But and really for me, the only must have in this wave four is the Splinter and the Baxter. I wouldn't mind getting the Roadkill Rodney. I don't really care about the Triceraton. I said this in the last live stream, I think, but I have a feeling that Roadkill Rodney is going to get released in the video game line, and it'll be easy to get him there. So if I miss out on getting this version, I'll just pick up one of the video game ones. I don't think it'll be that drastically different. Have some digitized paint apps on it, but I can live with that. Funtime wants some Filmation Ghostbusters. Well, yeah, I mean, Ghostbusters seems to be on hold for, I mean, pretty much from Hasbro. I guess they're waiting for the movie, but they really didn't have much to reveal for Ghostbusters at PulseCon. They had that Ecto One, which didn't really seem like it was in scale with anything. So Gaming wants someone to reply to him, which country? I'm not sure what he's talking about. Will we ever see an updated Avengers movie MCU box set? Everett asks. Oh, anything's possible. I'm really surprised that we've not seen a Warrior Thor from Avengers Endgame released. So I'm sure Hasbro will eventually get around to that, but I'm really surprised we haven't seen that figure done yet. Jay Darkside says Super 7 is killing it with the Turtle line, and it was a great replacement. Yeah, I admit those turtle figures from Super 7 are growing on me. Legends 69 says, "What are my thoughts as to why Target pre-orders sell out so fast? Do they not allow to stock towards pre? Well, they sell out so fast because the scalper bots. They're these basically. They're not really robots, but there's programs that scalpers use to essentially hit these sites so quickly and grab the stuff up faster than normal people can on their computers, and that's what ends up happening. So, and because Target does nothing to stop those, you can put some things in place. I mean, you can do things like you can put the captcha stuff up, but I mean, sites like Amazon see, and even Walmart recently, I've been seeing with the Walmart website that stuff has not been selling out as fast there. So I think there's something, and this gets a little bit out of my field of expertise, but it seems like sites like Amazon and stuff actually have things that don't require you to have to like type in letters and stuff uh, that prevent the scalper bots from getting the stuff at least as quickly. But Target just has been unwilling to do anything about it, and so it's the scalpers that are primarily getting all that stuff so that they can resell it on the secondary market, and that's why it's selling out so fast. Not that because, and it makes it seem like things are more popular than they are because they're selling out, and I guess they are to some extent because I get the scalpers. I don't think would be buying them all up if they didn't think they could sell them at a higher price on the secondary market, but it is very frustrating. Anything that's sold through Target is very frustrating because they've just not been willing to do anything on their website to slow down or prevent those scalper bots from getting stuff. And as far as, I mean, that's probably another issue. So, like with the NECA stuff, the turtle stuff, they do not stock that stuff in any great number. Like I was at Target and Walmart this week, and I went in and like I see practically every Target product that is put out I've seen on the Target shelves but the turtle stuff. Like I saw the Back to the Future figures this week. I mean, those just came out, and I saw both the Marty and the hazmat suit Marty figures. Those were easily found on shelves. That Terminator 2 pack with the John Connor and Sarah Connor, I've seen that multiple times at Target. All those Godzilla figures, all those Alien figures, all those Terminator figures. I mean, all the other stuff that NECA puts out has not seemingly been that difficult to get. But other than the turtles, and the reason primary meat, I mean, I would say turtles is probably their most popular brand in general, but it's also like the Target I went to and Walmart for that matter had Gremlin figures. Like they had like 8 Gremlin figures, the same figure, one of the newer ones, and it's like if they would stock the turtle stuff in that kind of numbers, I don't think they would be as hard to get. But like from everything I've seen, they only get 2 per case at a time with the turtle stuff. And so, yeah, if your store only gets 2 at a time, and sometimes some stores only get 2 period, they're going to sell out real quick. Even if it's just collectors and not even taking into account scalpers, they're going to sell out quick. So part of it is definitely distribution numbers, and I don't know who's responsible for that, but but yeah, that's definitely an issue. But online, it's not only distribution, but it's also just those damn scalper bots. Christina, do you think Civil War figures would be cool, like Penance, the Jester, Battle Damage, Iron Man, and Cap 2 pack, Iron Spider, Bill Foster Goliath, and the Cyborg, Thor, to put in a Marvel Legends wave? Mm, they did a lot of those for Marvel Universe, but I don't know. I mean, definitely there's with all these various storylines, I think there'd be people that would be interested, but would it be a huge seller? I mean, I view it like the Age of Apocalypse line. I don't think those figures have sold that great. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't have access to sales numbers, but I'm basing that on the fact that I constantly see most of those. I've seen them multiple times on short store shelves, the entire wave at one point or another. If you go on Amazon, I believe the entire wave is available at cost. So, I don't. I feel like obviously there are people that definitely like those figures, and but I feel like overall it's a small demographic. So when you get in those very specific storylines, you know, if you didn't read the story, you're probably not going to be interested in the figures, and so like going back to Mcfarland, that's why like even though I think the DC metal figures are pretty cool looking, I've never read those stories, so they just don't have enough appeal to me to want to get them. And some of those other Batman figures that they're doing, I haven't read those stories. They look like cool figures, definitely figures right up McFarlane's alley, but because I haven't read those stories, I'm not invested in those versions of the characters. So when you start getting into story specific characters, I think your window of customers starts to shrink. And would Civil War, the original comic Civil War storyline, do well? It's hard to say. Jose Angel asked, "Do you believe the Transformer Red line will have the same fate as the Overwatch Ultimates line?" uh, I don't know, honestly. I mean, those are Walmart exclusives, so they don't have a wide distribution like the Overwatch stuff did. So for that, as long as Walmart wants, they're probably shipping in small enough numbers that there's enough fans out there that will probably pick up most of them. I I've said this before. To me, the line doesn't have a huge amount of appeal. I think there's plenty of cool figures, Transformer figures that are based on those characters that look good and transform, and you start getting non-transforming transformers, and I kind of see little point to it, but we'll have to see. But again, the main difference I would say between the Transformer Red line and the Overwatch line is the Overwatch line was, first of all, there's probably is more Transformer fans in general out there, but also being a one store exclusive line means that it's not being distributed as wide, which means that it's likely gonna what is put out there is going to sell. Eric Lopez has not seen many good reviews on the Red Line. I think that's because they're just now starting to hit. I've yet to see them on store shelves, so you'll probably start seeing more reviews of those in the coming days. All right, let's do another question. So we've got 3 questions left, and just to recap, I'm going to read the question. The first correct answer I see, I'm going to call the name out, and that person's name is, I'm going to write their name down and throw the card in the bowl over here. And then at the end of the stream around 11, I'm going to draw one name, and that person will win the $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. So there's a total of 5 chances. 2 have already been gone into the bowl, and we've got 3 left. So okay, so since we were just talking about Transformers, this is kind of fitting. In the original Marvel Comics, who was responsible for changing Megatron from a gun to a tank? Wasn't Shockwave. Jose Angel, I'm going to give you the correct answer. Cobra Commander slash Cobra is the correct answer. Um, yes, Megatron had been damaged, and Cobra took it upon themselves to upgrade Megatron and turn him into a tank. In the comics, it's a crossover between GI Joe and Transformers, and so you got the correct answer. So your name is going into the bucket. So we've got 2 more chances, which I'll be reading here the next 40 minutes. Over the course of the next 40 minutes, I'll be asking the remaining 2 questions, and then we'll have the drawing right before around 11 o'clock. Ace wants to talk more Marvel. You bring up the question, and I'll try and answer it. Aaron Easton said Starscream. No, it wasn't other Transformers. It was actually Cobra, and which coincidentally, uh, so the story that where Megatron got turned into the tank took place in GI Joe, the comics, and then that launched Transformers Generation 2, the comic book series, which didn't last very long, but but that's pretty much how it went. The art was terrible in that Generation 2 comic. Not to be mistaken with the Generation 2 cartoon, which was essentially the Generation 1 cartoon, where they just dubbed in some weird transformations during the segments that got really irritating. But they didn't actually do new cartoon episodes for Generation 2. They just rehashed the original cartoon. Double Trouble says, get a Tigra off eBay so we can get a good one. Yeah. I'm probably going to break down and get Tigra just because I want to round out. I used to love West Coast Avengers. It was my favorite. I always like West Coast Avengers better than the regular Avengers comic. Dargo is heading off to bed. Thanks for checking it out, things, bud. I appreciate it. Scruffy Nerd says the G2 figs were all repaints. Well, not all of them. So, like the Megatron, the G2 Megatron was an actual tank, so it was different. A lot of them were, and they put those voice, like those sound boxes on them and stuff. But there was a few new ones. I love that the large green tank that they did for Generation 2 of Megatron. That's actually, I don't like the neon green that much, but the toy itself, I thought was a much cooler looking Megatron than the original gun version toy that they did. And I still have that original G2 Megatron. Jacoby, hey JC, why wouldn't Hasbro make reveal the shield stickers anymore for their Transformers? For me, that was the best part of those toys as a kid. Are you talking about like where you rub it and the sign pops up? Which, if that's what you're talking about, that actually was put in place to stop counterfeiting. Uh, Bootleg Transformers. A lot of bootleg Transformers started hitting the market here in the United States. I mean, obviously, we have second party Transformers these days, but back then, like if you went into a gas station, you would find bootleg Transformers. In fact, my first Starscream was a bootleg because I couldn't actually find the actual Hasbro Transformer Starscream. It was so popular, it sold out everywhere. So my first Starscream ended up being a bootleg version, which was practically as good as the actual toy. It just didn't have the Decepticon symbols on it and stuff. But that was my first Starscream toy as a kid because I couldn't find the actual goddamn Hasbro one because the Transformers had become, back then Transformers were almost as popular as Cabbage Patch Kids. You would see like fights break out in the toy aisles between parents because they were trying to get the last Transformers on the shelves. And coincidentally, I got really lucky with Transformers because my local drugstore, which was called Super X, it was a local chain, they got all these Hasbro Transformers in stock, and nobody ever thought to go there because they didn't normally sell toys. So I don't know why they got all these Transformers, but for like a long while, it was like a gold mine. You could go in there and find any Transformer you wanted. But with Starscream, by the time I couldn't afford to buy all of them at one time. So like my first two Transformers were Optimus Prime and Megatron. My parents got for me, but and then I think I got Soundwave and stuff. But by the time I went to get like uh, Starscream, people had discovered that this place was selling them and they had sold out and stuff. But no, I never no, I never stole Transformers. GI Joe was the only action figure line that I ever shopped. KB Toys Ace came for me at least came along later on. So like I remember my friend getting the Predacons. We'd go to Chuck E. Cheese in the mall, and then while we were like we'd go over to KB's and he got. I remember him getting the Predacons from KB Toys. Where I lived, Warhawk, we didn't have when I was a kid. We didn't have Jefferson Ward, so fun times going over Excalibur team members. So yeah, I mean we've got Nightcrawler and Captain Britain, but we need an accurate Shadow Cat, and then we need Megan and Rachel Summers Phoenix. I, as far as is there a reason for why they don't make those stickers anymore? I don't know. It might be something like that, like chemical, but I don't honestly know. I just know originally, because the original toys just had the regular stickers, and then later on they started doing those rub 'em ones, and I'm pretty sure the reason why they started that was to basically uh, make it harder for the bootleg counterfeit toys. John Wood says hi. All right. I know we just asked a question, but we're getting into the last half hour, so I'm gonna go on and ask another question. Who wants to see a Transformers? Vic asks if we want to see a Transformers versus GI Joe animated movie. I would. I mean, if it was done good, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I I remember the original Marvel comic crossover. It was a limited series. Optimus Prime had just been killed off in the comics, so it kind of crossed over with that. All right. So go over rules real quick. So we have 2 questions left. There's been a total of 5 questions. So I'm going to ask the question here. The first correct answer I see, I'm going to write their name on the card. I'll call it out, and the card will then go into the bucket. At the end of the stream, around 11 o'clock, we'll draw one name, and that person will win. You can be entered more than once. So far, we don't have any repeat winners, so right now the odds are pretty even, but we still got 2 more, so who knows? And this next question is, well, it's a GI Joe question, so fitting that we've been talking about GI Joe. Hey Doombot, you're just in time for one of the trivia questions here, so 2 more questions to go. Okay, so here's the question. What original G.I. Joe, a real American hero, the 3 3/4 inch figure, had the nickname of being the Mickey Mouse version? So this is back in the original 80s, 3 3/4 inch real American hero line. No, it wasn't Stalker. Cobra Commander, SGF 129, Tallman 80. I think you were on the right track, but I got to go with the full answer with SGF 129, who got this one and is recognized the name from last week's trivia contest. In fact, I think SGF had 2 entries in last week's contest. He didn't walk away with the prize, but he has now got us another chance here. But yes, the correct answer was Cobra Commander. So in the original G.I. Joe toy line, Cobra Commander was actually offered as a mail away figure originally, and the early production runs of the figure had a different Cobra symbol than what we generally see today. And because of the way it was designed, it kind of looked like it had Mickey Mouse ears. And so the figure got the nickname the Mickey Mouse version. So the later versions of Cobra Commander were, the regular Cobra symbol, like we see today. But those very first figures that they put out, the like first production run of the Cobra Commander figure, which was a mail away figure, um, had a different looking Cobra symbol on it. So, and of course, later on, Cobra Commander was released on a regular card back. It had the swivel arm feature. The original Cobra Commander had the straight arm, like many of the original G.I. Joe figures. Vic says he needs to study his 80 toy lines. Yeah. Martin asks about DC Superpower toys. What about them, Martin? Yeah, sorry, man. I know you were on the right path there, but since there's more than one commander out there, I had to go with the full answer. Warhawk asks if I was into the San Diego Comic Con Transformer GI Joe crossover sets. I like the idea, but because they didn't actually transform, it wasn't. I actually never got any of them, or if I did, I don't think I actually ever got any. I don't have any of them now. I know that I may have given. If I got one, I may have given it away at some point. But I would love to see a Transformer GI Joe line, but I would love to see actual ones that transform. So if you're not familiar, what he's asking about is for a time there, Hasbro was doing every convention they would take GI Joe vehicles and they would paint them to look like Transformers. So like one year they did the Sky Striker and made it look like Starscream. So like it looked like Starscream in jet mode, but of course he didn't transform. And you would get a GI Joe figure with it as well and stuff. So um, and you got some pretty nice packaging and everything with them, but because they didn't transform and they were just essentially repainted GI Joe vehicles and they were kind of expensive, I just it didn't appeal enough to me to get them. But if they ever did an actual real, where they took GI Joe vehicles and made them transform, like we saw in the comics and stuff, that is something I would definitely be interested in. Angel asks if I hate Hot Rod. I don't hate him. I prefer Hot Rod over Rodimus Prime. I thought I thought I really found Rodimus Prime annoying in the original cartoon, like in season 3. He was like always whining that he was never good enough to be leader, and it just kind of got annoying to me. Do I have Martin asks if I have superpower toys? DC superpowers? I not anymore. I did used to have a few of them, but it wasn't a line I heavily collected. Double Trouble asks if Transformers is my big beloved franchise. Uh, well, as a kid, the three main action figure lines I collected were Star Wars. I started off with Star Wars, and then I moved into GI Joe, and then Transformers, and kind of waffled back and forth between Transformers and GI Joe. So those are my big three action figure lines that have the most meaning to me. And then later on, later years, I got into Marvel figures with the original Toy Biz 5-inch figures, and then later, of course, 6-inch Marvel Legends. But the original toy lines I collected as a kid were Star Wars, Transformers, and GI Joe. Never collected He-Man as a kid. Never collected Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a kid. Never ever got into Power Rangers. I at least watched I watched the Thundercats. I watched Masters of the Universe. I watched all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoons as a kid, but I could never watch Power Rangers. I was older when Power Rangers really started to become a thing, but I could never get into it. Funtime says Masters of the Universe is his. I again I watched the Masters of the Universe, the He-Man cartoon religiously all the time. I just never really got into the toys. I guess because I was so much into Transformers and GI Joe that I just didn't have the room or money to get into He-Man. And I only had like one as a kid. I only had one friend I recall that really collected He-Man. Most of my friends also collected Transformers and GI Joe. Everett wants a helmet of Thor from the first movie. That'd be cool as one of the role play items. There is a role play item, a new one coming up. It's supposed to be announced, I think, next week. It's not anything super exciting, but do look for that. Blake says Marvel superheroes '90s Toy Biz, and then the 3 3/4 inch Marvel Universe line. Yeah, the '90s Toy Biz Marvel figures got me into probably like so as a kid I wasn't collecting GI Joe Transformers and I wasn't collecting Star Wars Transformers and GI Joe as a kid. I got them to play with. Um, Probably the Marvel figures. I was in high school when those Toy Biz 5-inch figures first came out. And that was really probably the first action figure line that I collected as a collector, and that kind of led to other things. The other line I really kind of collected back then was Star Trek, those Playmate Star Trek figures. I really love those too. I collected, I still have a lot of those. Eric asks, what is the figure that looks like is on a motorcycle in the shelf back there? Well, that top, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but that top whole shelf, every figure is on a motorcycle. So I've got the DC Icons. The first one is the DC Icons Batgirl with the motorcycle that they did. Then I have Armored Daredevil sitting next to the Black Widow motorcycle. I have my Black Widow figure is up on the shelf up in my upstairs office. But I thought the bike matched well with the armored Daredevil. It's not something he ever did in the comics, but I thought they two went together, so I have them there. Then I've got the DC Collectibles Batman the Animated Series Bat Cycle. Then I have the Rider Series Logan figure and motorcycle. Then I've got the Marvel Legend Rider Series Captain World War II Captain America and motorcycle. And then the final motorcycle on the shelf up there is the Mezco 112 Collective Judge Dredd and motorcycle. So that whole top shelf there is all figures with bikes. Funtime says we need a morph. I'm assuming you mean from the X-Men animated series. Warhawk asks if I have any Hot Toys. I've got a few. So I've got an Iron Man figure over here that you can't see, and I got a War Machine figure over here that you can't see, and then I've got a bunch of Captain America figures upstairs in my office upstairs. So in my normal news videos, on that you'll notice that I've got a lot of Captain America stuff on the back wall. So I've got some Hot Toys Cap figures there, but I'm not a huge, and I've got a few others. I've got like the Christopher Reeve Superman. I've got the Michael Keaton Batman, but that's probably about it for Hot Toys. I'm not a big Hot Toys collector. Chris says the Burnside Batgirl with her bike is a great piece. I think I got her at a con when she was released years ago. Yeah, I agree. In fact, I mean, I love the DC Icons line in general. I thought it's probably my favorite line overall that DC Collectibles did. Not necessarily their best made line, but probably my personal favorite. Lanix73 asks, is scale important to me to your collection? And if so, what scale is your ideal size or line to collect? I guess it depends. I mean, I collect a lot of various sizes, but I do like, I like for my Marvel Legends, I stick to primarily 6 inch. Though, I mean, I collected all the Marvel Universe stuff too, but I don't display, like, I can collect more than one scale, but I don't like displaying together various scales. So I try to keep my groupings on my shelf to the same scale, but I'm not limited to as far as what I can collect to only one scale. So if that makes sense to you, um, and I don't know if I have a preference scale. I mean, I probably these days lean more towards 6 or 7 inch scale figures over like say 3 and 3/4 inch, but I certainly think there's been some good 3 and 3/4 inch lines out there, like Marvel Universe, like GI Joe, like Star Wars. MK Solid 82 says, "Do I think McFarlane is going a little crazy?" I don't know, but yeah, we are. I don't know if you were here when we started the live stream, but I talked about the McFarland Con and the Mezco Con that'll be starting tomorrow, where we'll be getting announcements. And I don't know what he's going to be announcing because oh Blake, dude, no man, you don't. Oh, dude, Blake, I really hope you're like some rich tycoon. You keep making these donations because I mean I appreciate it, but I definitely don't. If you don't just have the money to spare, don't please don't throw it my way because. But I do appreciate it, man. I really do. Says he's doing very well for himself. Well, that's good to know. I mean, if you're a rich millionaire, Blake, then donate away. Fun time says big baller in the Gary says he'll take it if I don't want it. Silver. You know what? I got to be honest with you. So first of all, my last question isn't about Silverhawks, but I am not that Silverhawks is not a line I ever truly got into, so it's not one I'm super familiar with. I know it's got some affiliation with like Thundercats and things like that, but it's just it's not one of those lines that I ever really got into that much. So like anything I talk when I talk about Silverhawks, I really have to kind of go and read up on it before I talk about it because it's not one of those lines I have in depth a lot of in depth knowledge about. Same thing. I mean, there's a number of those lines out there from that time period that I just never personally got into. Um, Braveheart or Brave Star, that's another one I never really got into. Eric says Blake Tarpley is a good dude, and I agree 100%. Do you think any kids are buying Masters of the Universe Origins line? Andrew asks. Well, I don't know because I assume I think it's possible if in areas where the stores are stocking the stuff better. I can tell you here, no, because they're just not on the shelves long enough for kids and parents to even see them. Once the line goes wide, especially once the new cartoon starts, then I think there's a much greater chance that kids might get into them a bit. But right now, I would say it's primarily collectors. I always wonder. I mean, I have to wonder how appealing any of these action figure lines that like somebody like me grew up on is going to be to today's kids. Um, just like I was never into things that my parents were into when they were kids. I have a feeling that most kids probably, and obviously today with electronic devices and stuff, it's even worse. But I have to wonder how many of these properties, like a GI Joe, are kids really going to? I mean, obviously some kids haven't, maybe been influenced by their parents, but even like Star Wars, I know parents who are huge Star Wars fans and they've tried to get their kids into them, and maybe for a little while they did, but then it didn't last long. The kids moved on to other things. So probably the line that has the biggest chance of really appealing to kids is like the Marvel stuff with the movies, um, and Batman and stuff. But that's mainly just because of the movies and stuff. Yeah, they just recently released Tall Man 80. They just recently released a bunch of Scooby Doo stuff, including the Mystery Machine. I forget what company put those out, but Chris says he actually saw a father and son looking at Masters of the Universe figures 2 weeks ago. It's awesome that both of them were into it and kids looked under 10. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying no kids. And again, if I had to guess in that case, the father probably had some influence on the kid being in it. Because, I mean, just right now, I mean, what is there to really attract a kid to He-Man Masters of the Universe? There's not a cartoon. I mean, soon there will be, but right now there hasn't been. So, there isn't like the cartoons like there was for a lot of us who grew up on that stuff, um, which were, truth is, things like the He-Man cartoon were essentially 30-minute commercials for those toy brands. So, and and it's a lot harder for companies to do that because of the laws that were put in place. Um, but I think that's why a lot of us even today still collect that stuff because we were hooked on it as kids with the cartoons and stuff. Jo- Joseph says, while GI Joe movie didn't do well, so Hasbro hit it for a while without TV and movies. The brands fail with new audiences. I would agree. I mean, for a line to really, I mean, and it depends on what context you're talking, but I agree for a line to really have longevity, it's got to be able to pull in new audiences. Um, I think that's why Star Wars has gotten kind of stale in recent years because I don't think the new movies have pulled in the kids like the old ones did. So I think that's one of the things that Star Wars has really been suffering from these days. And for like, like I can only speak for myself, but I love Star Wars, but there's only so many Han Solo figures and I love Han Solo, but there's only so many Han Solo figures that I can buy or interested in buying, and so on and so forth. So, The Mandalorian is the best thing to happen to Star Wars in some time, and we'll see if that can really pull in new kids and stuff. But but I think definitely for these franchise lines to really thrive and survive, they've got to be able to pull in younger audiences and stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons why Marvel Legends has been remained so popular these after all these years, because it continues to bring in new younger people. Maybe not necessarily like really young kids, but definitely I think Marvel Legends has been successful in pulling in young teenagers and kids, and maybe in their 10s, 12s, 13-year-old age range, and older. So Warhawk says, God, The Last Jedi was terrible. I didn't think it was that bad, but it definitely, I don't think it won over a lot of new fans or anything. Eric asks if I'm backing the HasLab Razor Crest. I plan to. I definitely think it's a cool ship, so I'll probably wait till the last moment, but I do plan on getting one. Xavier says he finally decided to get into Marvel Legends this year. What was holding you back, man? No, I mean, yeah, Marvel Legends is was a revolutionary line when it first started, and continues to be one of the best lines out there in my opinion. So, JC, how about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves? Are we talking about the Kevin Costner version, or what, man? Yeah, that well, Tallman 80. I don't think everybody hated the prequels. I think fans who grew up on the original trilogy weren't fond of the prequels, but I think the prequels actually managed to bring in kids with all the clones and Jedi and stuff. So I think there was a lot of appeal for new audiences. It didn't do a good job at the time, at least. I don't think it did a good job of appeasing the longtime Star Wars fans at that point, who grew up on the original trilogy. But I think that it did was successful in bringing in younger audiences, whereas with the sequels, not only did it not make longtime Star Wars fans happy, I don't think it did much to bring in young kids to the line. So the line has grown stagnant. I think the Mandalorian series has potential for rekindling and bringing in new people to the line, but that's a lot to put on one series, so we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, and I think a lot of those Star Wars cartoons also helped bring in kids. The Clone Wars, Rebels, not the latest one. That last one, that the Resistance or whatever it was, that was horrible. I don't know what the hell happened there, but that was a bad series. Mr. Anonymous says I sound like an air traffic controller tonight. I'm not sure what that means, but probably it's the new mic. But hopefully you can hear me better than before. Doombot says the select Boba Fett looks good. Yeah, I mean it's a larger scale, so but I like the effect pieces and everything with it. I think it's going to cost $30, so it's going to be a bit more expensive. All right, I think it's time for our last question of the night. Reyes says 24.99. I'd heard it was 30, but you might be right. He's talking about the Boba Fett select figure. Okay, so last question of the night. So just real quick. Recap real quick. Let me get some water here. My throat's getting a little. Okay, so last question. We've asked 4 questions already. So there's 4 names in the bucket. This is gonna be the last one, and then we'll draw a name out, and that person will win the $100 store credit. Now I'm gonna read the question. First correct answer I see, I'll read the name, and their name will go in the bucket. So here's the question, and it's a Star Trek question. If you're a Star Trek fan, I think this will be pretty easy for you. Which Star Trek, the original series actor, was the first to appear in the Next Generation series? So you can get, yep, there you go. Jason Todd got it. DeForest Kelly, Dr. McCoy. He appeared in the pilot episode of the Next Generation. No, Joshua. Leonard Nimoy appeared later on, but DeForest Kelly appeared first, who of course was Dr. McCoy. So, Jason Todd, your name is the final name to go into the bucket. That's actually that. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, so that scene with Dr. McCoy and that pilot always kind of brings a tear to my eye. All right, so I'm gonna mix these up. Yeah, it was DeForest Kelly was the first. Leonard Nimoy appeared later on in a 2-part episode as Mr. Spock, of course. William Shatner, Captain Kirk, appeared in the Generations movie. He never appeared in the actual TV series. Scotty, James Doohan, appeared in one of the episodes of The Next Generation. Chekhov, Uhura, and Sulu never appeared in The Next Generation. Sulu did appear in an episode of Voyager, Star Trek Voyager. It was a flashback episode. Well, I take that back. Technically, Chekhov appeared in Star Trek Generations, but never like he was in the beginning of the movie that took place in Kirk's time. He didn't make it, or at least we never saw him in the future in the 24th century. Yeah, so, you're right. Surak uh, appeared in an episode and then appeared again in the episode with Spock where his character died. And Surak, for those of you who don't know, was Spock's father. The new season of Discovery starts tomorrow. I haven't. The new stuff has not been as exciting to me. So I thought the first season of Discovery was terrible. Salome is joining us, folks. She's here to see what name is going to be drawn. You want to pick out the name or what? Okay, I'm letting Salome pick the name. So if this is your name, you can thank Salome. If it's not, then blame Salome. So I kid you not, this is the card that Salome picked. The question was, what was the animal joining Spider-Man to fight crime in the new Spider-Man game? Which the answer was Spider Cat, and the winner was Mr. Joshua 327. So congrats, man! You are the winner of the $100 store credit. to Big Bad Toy Store. So what you need to do now, and I see you there. So just shoot me an email at jay@enewseye.com to claim your prize, and I will get you hooked up with that store credit. I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight, um, participated in the contest, of course, but just sat here and listened to me talk about stuff for 2 hours. So I really do appreciate it. I've really been enjoying these live streams. It gives me a chance. I don't always get to read all the comments and the regular videos and stuff. So it gives me a chance to, kind of hear you guys, hear your thoughts, hear your questions, hear your concerns, what have you. So I do plan on trying to continue to do these. I don't know if I'll be able to do them every week, but definitely uh, do plan on doing these on a fairly regular basis. So thank you everybody who tuned in, and I really do appreciate it. You, Blake, once again, thank you for that donation. You're awesome, man. Um, you know, you guys really make it worth just doing this stuff on a daily basis, covering all this stuff. So, um, you know, I don't want to get all mushy on you guys. Salome is over here and is now playing with the name card. So, Joshua, you probably owe Salome a big thanks there. I can't believe, honestly, she, on her complete own, she picked out the card with the spider cat. That's funny. All right, guys. So I think a little early, but I think we're gonna go on and call it a wraps here. We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I'll do one next week or not. One of these live streams next week, maybe. I'll play it by ear. Certainly, if you want to follow me on my Facebook page, that's generally where I do the most updates about this kind of stuff. But and also obviously here on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, then please subscribe and like the channel and all that. But I think probably most of you sitting through this are probably subscribers. So until next time, guys, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys later.